All right. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day already. It is day 12. We're coming up on halfway mark in this month, and we've got a lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff happening. You guys have been doing absolutely amazing. I am so super proud of every single person who's taken part in this challenge this month. And today's day 12. So I'm back again for day 12. Super excited to bring you guys today's workout. I got the orange egg today. Let's see what the orange egg has for us. So day 12, orange egg. See where we're going for today, what types of things we're going to do for today. All right. This was actually a really good one, and probably one that we all really need right about this time. A good little stop in the intensity workouts, and we're going to head towards a little bit more of the stretch and mobility stuff. Now, if you guys take my classes, you hear me talk all the time. Stretching and mobility work are one of the most important parts about a healthy, active lifestyle. We think a lot of times that working out harder and harder and harder is how we get fit and how we get stronger. And that's true. But without proper mobility and stretch work, our body doesn't have the adequate amount of time nor the resources to be able to repair itself. And so this is all about recovery and repair work. Number one is nutrition. I'm always going to go back to nutrition as the best tool for repair and recovery. You got to feed the body healthy. You got to take the time to put nourishment into it, or else it's not going to give you back. You got to tear the muscle down and strain the muscle so that it wants to get stronger, but you got to repair it. You got to take time to recover. You need time for the body to stretch and heal, especially as we get older. I'm turning 50 this year, and I've been reminded, my body has reminded me quite a bit that this is an incredible part of it, as I've been dealing with the lower back strain, which I've never had a problem with before in my life until this year. So this is an important one for me. So we're going to do 3 different things today. These are actually all things that I do in my class. I have a stretch and mobility class I teach every Wednesday night. If you want to join me Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, stretch and mobility work. Love that class. It's a great way to in midweek, every week, for you to take a break and get that part done. So the first one that we're going to talk about is called a low lunge. Now I'm going to get a couple of pieces of equipment. I've got a mat here. I'm going to bring out my mat, my yoga mat. Now I have a little squishy yoga mat. It gives me a little more padding than the average yoga mat. I've also got this nice little foam rubber. This is a soft foam rubber. It's a dense foam rubber. I picked this up on Amazon for about $12. It protects my knees. If you're going to be sitting on or putting your knee on the floor, this is a great way to protect it. If you don't have something like this, grab the pillow off of your sofa, throw that under your knee. It helps protect your knee. So the first thing we're going to do is called a low lunge. Now in yoga, we do a low lunge where we come here and we hold this low lunge here with this knee right over that heel. Body's nice and erect here, low lunge here. You can even take this up into that warrior one if you'd like to. So that's the yoga low lunge, but I'm going to take this down a little bit farther for our purposes of stretching and mobility work. Now, again, I've got that mat down here, and that's to help protect my knee. And so with this low lunge, I'm going to drop my foot out behind me, knees on the floor here. I'm going to press this right foot into the floor. And then with my knee, with my body perfectly straight here, we're going to go push our body forward, opening up this hip flexor, opening up this hamstring, and watch this right knee right here. This is the most important part of this low lunge. This knee stays right on top of that heel right there all the time, every single time. If you do not watch this, what will happen is, as you get more and more flexible, is you'll push over that foot. Okay, for this purposes, we want that heel to be right underneath that knee all the time. So as you become more flexible, as you push a little harder and the body opens up a little more, you might have to move that foot out a little bit more and a little bit more as you get a little more limber. Also, you want to keep this body perfectly straight. So my hips are straight, knees straight, shoulders are straight right in front of me. A great way to help keep that movement there is to bring the arms out in front of you. Helps just remind you to keep things straight. You can also bring those hands behind the back here. I rest them in the small of my back sometimes to help keep my shoulders elevated. And as my shoulders elevate and I press forward, it really opens up this hip flexor right here. So this is where we want to feel most of this work. All right, so there's your low lunge. Now there's some other modifications to this low lunge you could do. You could bring the hands down to the floor here on the inside of my right knee, my right elbow and my right shoulder plastered to that knee. So you could hold it here, again, pressing forward on that leg. You can also open this up to a rotate here. Lots of options when you're here. The main one here is just starting here, pressing forward, opening up that hip flexor, opening up this hamstring, and really keeping this body straight. Low back, you'll feel some pain, some stretching right here in that low back. That's important. Now, again, also with everything, especially mobility work, you want to do both sides. So I'll change sides here. And what you want to concentrate when you're doing both sides is that, remember, each side is going to be different. One side will be more flexible than the other. So give your body a little bit of grace, give your body a little bit of forgiveness here. It might not be as easy one way or the other, pressing that foot forward. As you get a little more flexible, opening up that hip, however you need to stretch, feeling that deep stretch through that right hip here, lower back, low small back bend. So that's your first exercise. That's the low lunge. Now, the second one we're going to work on is one that's an opposite of that. So in that kind of movement, we work bending the lower back. It's a lower back bend. We want to do the opposite. And this exercise, this particular movement, is called a child's pose. All right. And so let's see. Yeah. So child's pose, after you're finished there, you want to be in your tabletop position and just push your body back into that child's pose, pressing those hips down towards the ankles, dropping the head between the shoulders. Okay. So that's kind of the opposite of that low lunge with that low back bend. Okay. So that just stretches that back out. So you've got those two pieces to work on in that first movement. Now, the second one I want to do, I'm going to move my little pad out of the way, is for shoulders. Now we're going to sit right up against the wall here, squared right up against the wall. You can keep your legs straight in front of you if that's comfortable. You can cross them here if you want, whatever is comfortable for you, but we're going to sit squarely up against the wall with our back flat against the wall, core is tight, hips pressed up against the wall here so that my body is straight up on that wall. Now, shoulder mobility is really important as we work in all phases. And I have a really big problem with shoulder mobility because my shoulders are so large. We also sit with our hands this way. We type this way. We sit on the couch like this. So shoulder mobility is pretty serious issue. What here we're going to do is we're going to keep our left hand on our hip, on our knee. Right arm's going to come straight up over us. And you'll notice, you can't really see from the side here, but my hand is about 8 inches away from the wall. And that's where my shoulder is comfortable. So from here, body stays straight. I'm going to press that shoulder back, pushing it away towards the wall, back towards the wall where I can try to touch that wall, pushing that shoulder back, up and back, up and back, keeping the rest of my body here straight against the wall. Don't lift up and torque back against the wall. Body stays where it was, pushing that shoulder back towards the wall, both shoulders here, and just keep working to push that shoulder back, pressing against it. That opens up the back of the shoulder here across the top of the neck and shoulder and helps your body really stretch up. Now, of course, you got to do both sides. Same thing we just did. One side's going to be stronger than the other. One side's going to be more mobile than the other. So give yourself some forgiveness. Work to push that. So push, hold that for 4 or 5 big seconds, and then relax. And then do it again. Hold 4 or 5 seconds. Give yourselves a good 8 or 10 of those and help the body really open up. Now, lastly, with this one is you can do both arms and try that. Now, I would suggest waiting on that. That might not be someplace that you start with. It could be more advanced for you down the road. I can't do that really well right now. I have to focus on one arm or the other and wait and come back and do both arms later. The third exercise we're going to do is called an assisted low squat. Now, this one I'm going to go to my door frame here and show you guys. Now, we do squats, air squats, pretty frequently in my classes. But one of the things that we've missed with this is the hip flexibility and the ankle flexibility. So this is going to help us with that. I'm going to use a door frame. So you'll grab a door frame, and hopefully you can still see me And from here, we're going to go down into a squat. And I'm going to use this door frame to hold me so I can go lower into that squat, keeping my feet flat on the floor. So I'm not coming up on my ankles. My feet stay flat on the floor. And if you struggle with this, just lean back a little bit. Lean back away from the wall. That holding that door frame is the key. Now, if you've got the edge of a wall, like you've got a little half wall somewhere in your house, you can use that. I caution you from using a table or the sofa because you'll pull that over on you. So use a door frame, use a wall, something you can hold on to. Go down all the way as far as you can. Hold it at the bottom of that low lunge, that low squat. Hold it there for 4 or 5 seconds. Back up, back down, back up, maybe 5 or 6 times. Hang out down there. I usually say this, hang out at the bottom of that squat, move around a little bit, kind of shift those hips side to side, work the ankles and let that all loosen up. All right. Those are your 3 things to work on. You've got that low lunge, finished off with that child's pose to help this hip flexors and low back. You've got the shoulder mobility sitting on the floor, arms up over the head. And last but not least, you've got those low squats. That's your mobility work today. Don't forget, if you need more help with this, join me on Wednesday evenings, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I teach a full class on this. We'll do it every week. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great one.